Okay, so what is a revocable living trust? In a previous video, I talked about a testamentary trust and I talked about the general term of what a living trust is. Now, when we talk about a revocable living trust, it basically accomplishes one main goal of clients that I meet with, and that is simply to avoid the succession process. Now, why would they want to do that? Most of the time, they have either previously been involved in a succession that, quite frankly, was a nightmare, that it took long, the family fought, they felt the legal fees were too high, whatever the case may be. So oftentimes when someone meets with me and their concern is to avoid a succession, many people don't know that the option of a revocable living trust is even available. And so when we talk to people about setting up a revocable living trust, it is a way that we are actually able to transfer the title and ownership of assets, properties, things of that nature from them personally into the revocable living trust. And then check this out. As a married couple, for example, they are then what's called the trustees. So they both are involved in and they both are considered trustees. So they control everything that we place in the trust, and the trust is the legal owner. They are trustees that control everything for the duration of their life. Nobody can put in the trust but them, and nobody can take out the trust but them. Okay, so how does it avoid a succession? Simply, if they are both trustees and one of them should pass away, the next second, the surviving spouse, who is now the sole trustee, stays in complete control. So guess what just happened? The family just avoided the first succession, because there are no succession proceedings that need to be placed, because the first spouse that passed away, guess what? They were just a trustee. The trust actually was the owner. Okay? So this continues to go until the second spouse passes away, who is actually now the sole trustee and still in control of everything. When that happens, when that second spouse, who is now the sole trustee, passes away, they have previously named in their trust someone who they trust as what is now called the successor trustee. That person steps up, disperses the assets and property of the revocable living trust identically, exactly how the trustees had it set out. The successor trustee then starts dispersing, okay, the assets. They cannot do more than what the trust says. They can't do less than what the trust says. They have to go by what, in this example, what the parents set up. When the last item leaves the trust will go away by law, because it will be what's called unfunded. There won't be anything in it. So what does that do? That then accomplishes avoiding the second succession. So a revocable living trust can avoid the succession process, the full process. And what it will do is it will allow the trustees to dictate where they want assets to go. Now, let me tell you, most people that set up a revocable living trust, they are not worried. They do not have a concern about the nursing home, about Medicaid, or ever starting that 5-year clock. Their number one goal is to, in their words oftentimes, avoid the nightmare of the succession, the time frame of the succession, and a lot of times the expense of the succession. Okay? They want to avoid that to keep the harmony of the family together. Hope that helped.